He's guilty as sin, in my view, and this jury just gave him a total pass. Sean Combs is smiling as he shook one of his lawyer's hands and turned again to look at his family. He put his hands together in prayer and mouthed, thank you, at the jury. That's the right thing to say, Sean Combs. He pumped his right fist. Yep, this is exactly the right attitude for Sean Combs, who just got away with serious felonies, in my view. He's guilty as sin, in my view, and this jury just gave him a total pass. They bought Mark Agnifalo's argument, it appears, the same one that did not work for Agnifalo in the Nexium case out of Albany, New York, in which he went in there and said, these women, we don't do cults. Women are powerful. Women make their own decisions. These women up in this other case chose to have themselves branded. No one made them with this guy's initials. And he tried the same thing here, but with a much, much better result. This is a win for Sean Diddy Combs. There's no question about it.
Man, I'm so glad Diddy free, bro. You know, the reason is because I'm tired of seeing us black moguls get took down like that, bro. And I'm tired of seeing us black people go against us black moguls like that. And I feel like if Diddy was a white man who done all this shit for people, you know, I know he ain't paid people, but if he done all this shit for hip-hop, if he was white, they would have had so many white people.
Yes, I have seen these guys supporters, doing a lot on social media. When you take a look at this guy, the only thing the Fed wanted out of this trial was his thieves. Everything else was a show. I have been saying he will be found not guilty on any of this charge for the past 3 months. He's not the only person saying this. People are extremely not happy with this. Demonstrations I've seen clearly tells you the minds people have. Someone on TMZ said this is how rich people get away from things like this. At the end of the day, we are going to find out. I have some videos I'm going to show you. If you love what I'm doing here, please subscribe, share the video, and if possible, check if your notification is on.
I'm not even sure if I would say there would be an appeal, because for Sean Combs and his defense team, this is a massive win. 3 of the counts that had a life sentence possibility are gone. When it comes to transportation to engage in fraud, the minimum is nothing. There's a theoretical possibility that he walks out on probation. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No, but the max is 10 years. Even if you were to take both sentences, and he's not going to get 10 years, they're going to look at his criminal history, mitigating circumstances, aggravating circumstances, and I would assume that he gets somewhere in the middle ground, maybe like 3 to 5 years, 3 to 6 years possible through that sentencing range for each count. Sean Combs going to trial where he was facing life and being able to walk out with something under 10 years, well under 10 years possibly, that is a victory. Will he appeal? Sure, that's his right to do so, but I don't see an appeal here. I think you take this as a win, you serve the few years that you may get, and you be happy that you didn't get life. I'm somewhat shocked as to the track for Cassie. I thought that might have been a stronger case for the government. I didn't think that they had the RICO, and I definitely didn't think they had the Jane track. This is, I think it only so many words, and I keep saying it, I think this is a positive result for Sean Combs and his team.
Yes, I've seen a lot of people saying this is a big win for this guy. To be truthful, to me, it is not a win. Yes, his reputations will never be the same. I understand people are saying this as a result of spending his entire life in prison, but looking at this, it is extremely concerning. Diddy was that kind of guy who like, people to listen when he's talking, but right now it will be extremely difficult for him to do that again. Yes. Megyn Kelly's reactions to this video clearly tells me one thing. She understands exactly how these people play the game. Like someone said, oh, it's because he's a black guy. Oh, race play a role in this. I've seen a lot of people saying this, like this guy. I'm about to show you. He actually get on my nerves every time. He's a race baiter. Like I can tempt it.
Phil, you had been feeling and predicting that we were headed for a likely NG. I I realize it's not a full not guilty, but anybody who tells you this isn't a win for Diddy is lying to you. This is an absolute win for him, and that's why he's pumping his fist and smiling today. Your thoughts?
Well, thanks for having me. It's always great to be with you here, Megyn. Look, this is about many things, but at the heart of this verdict, I think, is reasonable doubt. I mean, all it takes for a jury to find someone not guilty is one doubt for which a reason can be attached. And if you have statements made by victims, you've read some of them in your opening just now, where these alleged victims had expressed a willingness and a desire to participate in some of these things. It is a very difficult thing for a prosecutor sometimes to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that despite those statements and despite that evidence, they are in fact victims. Okay. And so the jury is probably going to leave there thinking, you know what? He's a slimy person. He's a terrible person. He's probably guilty of all of these things, but the prosecution was just unable to prove to us beyond a reasonable doubt all the elements of the crimes as to the rest of the counts. And look, whatever the judge does give him in terms of sentencing, there's no parole to speak of in the federal system. And it's entirely possible that these are not run consecutively or concurrently. They could, in fact, be stacked potentially. And there's no reason to think that the judge is going to stay necessarily within the sentencing guidelines. It's very possible that the judge maxes out whatever is possible on what he's been convicted of. So for a man of his age, you know, even a 5 or 6 or 7 year prison sentence in the federal system is not insignificant at all. Now, I do agree with you. On balance, this was a win. He's already been in custody for, 10 months or so, I think it is now, and he will get credit for that. So for Diddy and for his team, there is something of a light at the end of his tunnel, but it's not over yet. The sentencing could still be relatively severe under the circumstances.
My team's informing me if there are no enhancements to the bare minimum sentencing under the transportation doing charges, one conviction on this charge would be 15 to 21 months. 2 counts, convicted under 2 counts, which is what he has been, is 21 to 27 months, so about 2 years. But we believe that there will be enhancements given the level that he was accused of coercion and so on. So we'll see. So we're looking at probably 2. I mean, it technically could be up to 10 years, but it's not going to be that because he has a criminal record, but he did not. It's not so great that he served jail for more than 30 days or got to the point where this would be held against him. In other words, they don't count his criminal history against him unless he was sentenced to more than a year of probation or 30 days in jail on prior offenses, and he wasn't. So it's as if he had no prior offenses.
Yes, that is the end result of this. At least we can rest. People have been talking about this now for a longer time. And I understand some people didn't actually really expect, something different like this. People knew that this might happen. Things can turn out to be like this. And today we saw the end result of it. Now, black people reacting today is crazy. This guy's always better. He's fun of this. Take a look at what he said on this video.
Man, I'm so glad Diddy free, bro. You know, the reason is because I'm tired of seeing us black moguls get took down like that, bro. And I'm tired of seeing us black people go against us black moguls like that. And I feel like if Diddy was a white man who done all this shit for people, I know he ain't paid people, but if he done all this shit for hip-hop, if he was white, they would have had so many white people out there protesting for this man losing his life behind a relationship, And people always, Boosie was on Diddy's side. Nah, it ain't that. It's because I'm thinking about...
They gotta let them go. They should let them go, because guess what? The embarrassment, the waste of taxpayers' dollars, they wasted y'all money. And the American people said not guilty. So y'all be mad at the government because this was a waste. This was to ridicule this man. This was to embarrass this man in front of his children. His children. Cassie got paid and everything. She got paid. And the only thing he did was engage in that.
Yes, I'll be bringing you update to show you some of the reactions on social media. I want to appreciate people supporting me, sharing all my videos. God bless you abundantly. If you see any clips, short videos at the end, that is for the YouTube algorithm. They don't recommend videos on this channel. We do that struggling to use by using any means.
It's a very, very let them eat cake kind of moment. Watching their dear, dear life. I can't say enough negative things about this man. I'm not sure he's human. I like, in the same way you look at a psychopath that, like Dahmer, eats them. That's how I am now looking at Sean Combs. There's something deeply wrong with him. There's a depravity to this man that
people line up for my advice.
Why don't we choose more carefully who we're going to lionize?
Just many natural reasons why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids makes things difficult.
There's something wrong with this person. And actually found a way.
What did you make of Donald Trump's
100?
Has been overwhelming. The lies in their amplification.
This is not going to end.
Self-defense. There's no self-defense. Because kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one.
Because she's fearful of what might happen.
And then the
Registration Act is
talking about this man kill.
My summary of the first 100 days is that
if film and TV productions continue to
first term, and you will be very.
Once again, the field was littered with Wintour does every year. This Carmelo Anthony case.
Live in the White House. Many people
like a little unhinged drunk.
And black people don't.
Since we're talking about integrity, I'm
placed last in the recommendation.